Hi, I'm at Big Apple Comic Con. I'm here with Phil Ortiz, the Renegade Simpsons artist.
No.
You are a nut. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you end up working on The Simpsons?
Well, professionally, I've been working since 1978. And I've worked at different studios on the West Coast since '78. My first was Hanna-Barbera, and then I went from studio to studio because they were short-term projects. And by the time I got to The Simpsons, I was working at another studio, and a friend of mine that worked with me at that studio went to Klasky Csupo, who was starting up the half-hour version of The Simpsons, not the 1-minute wraparound on the Tracy Ullman show. So he came back from his lunch break and said, "Hey guys, they're starting a new series there at Klasky Csupo." He couldn't remember the name. He says the Samsons or the Simpsons or something, and he says they're looking at portfolios right now. So he says I'd go down there. He applied and he got hired. So I said, okay, that's another animated show. It'll pay my bills for about a couple of months, for half a year or so. So I went down there, I showed them my portfolio, and they loved it, and they said, okay, great, can you start tomorrow? So I said, okay, yeah, I'm all set.
Did you have any idea it would become what it became when you guys started, or was it just like a phenomenon?
No, but the first producer for the show, her name was Margot Pipkin. I hope you're listening, Margot. She had foresight. She said, "Phil, don't go anywhere. We're going to go places with this. Wow. It's going to be bigger than Taxi. Wow. It's going to be bigger than Cheers." It's because we had the exec producers of those shows working on The Simpsons, James L. Brooks and Sam Simon.
Wow.
So I said, to myself, yeah, right, okay. I'm just worried about paying my rent.
What characters can you kind of claim responsibility for?
Well, I came in to work on layouts, but they ended up putting me in character design the first season.
Wow.
And the characters that I designed, that I showed to Matt Groening, the creator, who didn't change, who asked for no changes, was Apu, Ned Flanders, and one of his sons, because they replaced me afterwards for character design. And Otto the bus driver. I did Nelson the bully.
Wow.
Little Ralphie Wiggum.
Oh, he's my favorite.
There's this character I really like. His name is Herman, the one-armed veteran. He has the voice of President Bush Sr. And a lot of other secondary characters.
And what happened? Why are you the Renegade Simpsons artist, as your there calls you?
No, it's just that I just draw on my own, and I have the authority to do it. So, ever since 1993, well, after the first 2 years of The Simpsons for television,
did you leave?
I left to go to Disney Publishing, and I illustrated a lot of Disney children's books.
Okay.
And then 2 years later, they were just eliminating that department, so I got a call from the art director, Bill Morrison, for Bongo Comics, and I met him when I was working on the TV show, The Simpsons, and I said, he called me, he said, "Phil, we're starting up the comics for The Simpsons. Do you remember me?" I kept calling him Jim Morrison for some reason, and then he kept saying, "Phil, no, it's Bill, it's Bill."
I'm not the rock star.
And I remembered Bill, so I said, yeah, sure. So, he asked me to come down to Bongo Comics. He gave me a trial run. The first comic. I've been working on the Simpson comics since the beginning, so I just finished number 182.
Wow.
It's going to go over 200, maybe 250. I don't know. Even if the TV series dies, then the comics go on.
Well, I see they've let the children in, and I know your line is going to be around the corner all day. Nice to meet you, Phil.
Nice to meet
Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you.